Hi, I'm Dan Beck from PT 2.0, and today we're here to talk about data integrity, why it's important, and what you can do to clean up your APS and MyOb database. So before we go through a solution on how to fix, let's talk about why data integrity or automating data integrity is vitally important for practices today. First of all, keeping on top of your data, it's painful, it's time consuming, and it's hit and miss. A lot of times when we go into firms, we find that they export data every year, normally around about July, August, and send it to Excel and then start working their way through all their client data to try and fix up. What becomes really interesting is that when we start automating some of their data integrity, we find that clients in A to C are a lot cleaner than the rest of the database. It's just in our habit to try and clean up the data by running lists and working our way down it. So a lot of ways we can make that a lot easier to not only identify inconsistent or incomplete data, but also automate the fixing of that data as well. Next big reason why automating data integrity is important is without good data integrity, we stop other forms of automation. We stop mail merging, we stop other applications like client portals from being able to display and automate information to our clients. Another big reason is that it stops our marketing team from being efficient and effective. A lot of the times we want to run events or keep lists, and the data in our database isn't up to date. So it makes that function very, very difficult. We find that we can add a lot of efficiency or a lot better targeting of clients for marketing teams once data integrity is up to date. Next, bad data integrity looks really bad to clients. Nobody likes receiving an email or a letter that says "Dear first name." So we try and track fields that make it look bad to clients as we're running automated routines. And finally, bad data integrity stops internal reporting reliability. Uh, it means that we can't run reports, or if we do run reports, especially when we're doing client analysis, we can't be sure about the consistency of the actual reporting data. The good news, though, is that there are ways to be able to fix your data integrity in a much more systematic and automated fashion. One of the things that we've been working on for the last few years is a data integrity tool designed for APS and malpractice management systems. Essentially, what it does is it displays in real time the data integrity inside your firm. So this is a look at the application. And I'll do a quick little run through exactly how it's laid out and what it actually does. So the major components are functionality at the top to allow us to change what is being shown and the context of it. Next is tracking how we're actually performing with our data integrity processes. And finally, the meat of the application is the actual data integrity and where we've got integrity issues inside our firms. So let's look at it in a little bit more detail. So first of all, we've got the Show Queries button, and what it does is that it will show all of the queries that we have tests for. So we've got about 60 or 70 tests across an organization, and there is the ability for firms to add additional tests where required, but we run all of these tests in real time across the database. But so as we don't have a massive scrolling list, we condense the list down when the application opens to only show the tests where we do have data integrity issues. Next is how we actually show which issues are going to be brought to people's attention. So we've got 4 different categories that we can use. So high priority, so these are ones that will stop automation. Medium priority, which will hold up a workflow or make things a bit slower. Low priority are ones that it's good to have that information, but it's not a priority to get that cleaned up in the first instance. And then information. So information alerts are ones where the data may be right, it may not be right, it needs to be assessed. So for instance, one here is family groups that haven't been billed for 18 months. So no one in that group has been billed for 18 months. So this might indicate that a client should be terminated, but on the other hand, it may just mean that we've been held up on work or something like that. So it's an information only kind of alert. Now, the beauty is that you can choose what you consider to be high, medium, or low priority in your database, and that can be adjusted by yourselves. Next, it's the perspective on what you want to view the database. In this example, we've got a relationship manager, which is partner in most firms, or we can run the list via manager. Or we can run it showing both partner and manager. Generally, though, people tend to pick one or the other, either from a partner perspective or from a manager perspective. In some firms, where the database has additional attributes, we are running it by admin person. So if an admin person is assigned to multiple partners or managers, we can run the list via admin person so that they fix up the information that they're responsible for. So as I said, these graphs at the top here will track our performance and will show how we are going in terms of cleaning up the database. Now, let's get into the meat of the tool, where the exciting things happen. So under here, we've got all the business rules down the left, and we've got all the people across the top. There's two ways to actually look at the data integrity data that's being pulled up. So the first way is that we can go and click on a test, and this will then go and load all of the errors. So in this case, where city of birth is missing, across all the clients in the database. The alternative is, and this is where we have teams cleaning up data, is that we can click on an intersecting cell and actually see what the data is for that person. From here, if you're an APS customer, we have some additional functionality where we can actually make the changes directly in the integrity tool and then post the changes to the database. So, and now we've got only 2 issues here as opposed to 3 previously. So what this allows us to do is it allows us to speed up that whole process. So for MyIBE customers, there's still a lot of value in being able to see exactly where data integrity issues are occurring. But for APS firms, obviously we can take that automation to a higher level. We've also got the ability to do functions like copy and paste to make that data entry quicker. As we post those changes and come back, we now see that there is no issues for Amanda Schmidt at all. Now, one of the questions that we quite often get is around security, which is obviously very important. So this application runs only inside the organization and doesn't have any data go outside the organization other than a check to a license server. Depending on how the organization wants to handle data integrity, we either set it up so that every staff member has access or that certain roles have access to it. It is capable of being integrated in with Active Directory to make a more seamless log-on experience. We can also, test by test, change who has got access to what test, so whether they have the rights to view the data or edit the data. So this means that we can have certain things like partners who can view where the data is incorrect, but still leave it to the admin team to fix up the data. Probably the next big thing with APS firms is that when we're making these changes is that we log all of the changes that are being made. So we don't override the existing APS audit log, but we keep our own extra log on top that shows where we have changed any data. So it will show exactly what the data was initially and what the data is being changed to, who did it, when and where. So we think this is a great little tool to be able to automate data integrity. It's been out in the market for a little while, and it's been used in both very small and very large firms to automate the data integrity process. Thanks for joining us for this short demo of the PT 2.0 integrity tool. If it was of any interest, please be in contact. We'd love to hear from you and have a great day.